In this video I'm going to give you some tips on getting traffic to your website. Now, that could mean just some traffic, or it could mean getting more traffic. It depends where you are at the moment. But near enough every website seems to need more traffic, so that's a good place to start. And the first place to start is content on your actual website. And the reason I've put that first is that if you drive traffic to your site, you need something for people to do there. Otherwise, all they're going to do is click the back button. Google will take notice of that and assume that your site's not worth looking at, and they'll downgrade you in the search results. So you need content for your website, and you need it for visitors to read. Search engines are secondary, but they all need to, in quote marks, read it as well. Writing the content, you can either write it yourself or you can get people to write it for you. If you get people to write it for you, take the trouble to actually read it through and make sure that what they're saying is what you're happy with them saying. Sometimes that isn't necessarily the case, so be quite careful about that if you're going to get other people, but it's perfectly doable and it's quite cheap. Lots and lots of places. Drop me an email and I'll let you know. So content for your website first and foremost, and what I'd suggest is that you add that on a regular basis, because again Google will take notice of how often you do that, and it will then decide in its own infinite wisdom how often to crawl around your site and add you to the search engine. So generally speaking, the more often you write content for your website, and it is generally words, don't go putting up a picture or two and thinking, oh that's right, I've written some content. A picture on the web isn't worth 1,000 words, it's 1,000 words are worth 1,000 words and nothing else. I know people are watching videos, but in terms of indexing, Google are just so much better at indexing written content than anything else that you need to create some. And typically I'd say a page should be at least 300 words, ideally nearer 400 or 500 words. And again, if that fills you with dread, pay someone else to write it. Writers are cheap. It's the typical starving artist, so make the most of that bit. Once you've got some content on your website, the next place to actually create some content, and it used to be you'd go to places and beg for links. Now you go to places like YouTube, put up a video, and in the description below it put a link to your website. You're in complete control of your channel, so literally go ahead, create a YouTube video. Now there's lots and lots of different ways of doing that. If you've got a webcam, you can actually do it within YouTube itself, and in fact you can do slideshow type videos a bit like this within YouTube itself as well. It's all actually there. But if you want to do something slightly more complicated, for instance do a sort of slideshow a bit like this one where it's a screencast effectively, that's what it's called, that's a technical term, because it's like a broadcast but I'm capturing the screen, so merge the two words together, it's a screencast. And one of the programs that I recommend to use that is called Screencast-O-Matic. Just search for that. It's hyphenated somewhere and it's a bit weird, but if you type it all in as one word, Screencast-O-Matic, it'll come up in Google quite happily. And that has a free version which puts a small watermark in the video, or for $15 a year at the current time you can get rid of the watermark and do a lot more things. It's very simple to use, very intuitive, and creates nice videos. So you can do ones like this, probably more imaginative than this one. Put them up on YouTube, put the title on this one, the title will be tips on getting your traffic to your website, and put a description below, and in that description put a link. And some people, by no means everyone, will find that video and will click through the link to your website, and that's another way of getting targeted traffic, which is even better than just traffic. You could get traffic, but if they weren't interested in what you want to sell, it's pretty pointless. But if they're coming from a YouTube video you've created, chances are they will be interested in whatever it is you're talking about on your website. The next trick, and you can see it in about half the adverts that are out there, create a Facebook page. If it's good enough for Coca-Cola, it's good enough for you. They've got a Facebook page. Last I looked, it's got millions upon millions of likes. You're probably not going to get that many, but you'll get some. And it's quite easy, just type in your search as usual, create a Facebook page. Google will give you the correct page. It's just quicker and easier than trying to find where Facebook have hidden it. And then go ahead and create a page. And you can they're a little bit restrictive on what you can do on logos and things. Just read their frequently asked questions or do a quick search. But you can do, on Coke I've got a picture of a Coke bottle, so it's not that restrictive. But just be a little bit careful on some of the naming and stuff like that. Just check what you can do, because obviously they'd like to keep you on Facebook. And on your Facebook page, again, do snippets from your website. Snippets, maybe you can embed YouTube videos on Facebook, so when you publish a new YouTube video, put it on your Facebook page. And you can do one for your company, you can do one effectively for your business. And if it's not a bricks and mortars business, that doesn't matter. You can still do one for whatever you decide to choose. There's no major checking on it. So creating a Facebook page, take the time to keep it updated though, because unlike content on your website, which people don't know generally when you wrote it, and unlike YouTube videos, Facebook is much more interactive, so you do need to actually keep doing things. But you can drive people to your website, get traffic to your website from Facebook, and again, they're going to be targeted. The next way you can get, again, targeted traffic, and keep going on about targeted traffic, but it's just so much better. You may get less of it, you will get less of it, but the people that arrive actually want to interact with you in some way, shape, form or fashion, because they've made the effort of reading the article or watched the YouTube video or read your Facebook page, and they've clicked through. So writing articles, again, you can outsource that. There's a few sites around. Follow the link below this video and you'll find some ways of doing that. Or you can write them yourself. Typically there's a couple of different ways you can get articles. You can write articles for other sites. There are things called article directories, which the most famous is Ezine Articles. That's EZINE articles.com. That still works, not as well as it used to, but it works okay. And as long as the article's decent quality, they're quite happy for you to have two links at the end of it, directing people back. Now, when you do that, don't waste them and say Fred Blogs is good at this. Use the keywords you want people to recognise you for to point back, so that Google will recognise that, and that becomes a virtuous circle. And if you're not sure about topics and things like that, just start typing something in Google and it will suggest keywords that people are searching for. So when I did this, I started with just getting traffic and I played around with it, and a couple of suggestions later it came up with tips on getting traffic to your website. Okay, that's why the name of this video is called that. And the other thing is, if there's sites within your industry that are perceived as experts, offer to write articles for them. Some of them will say yes, some of them will say no, but the quid pro quo, the flip side of that is that there will be usually a link back to your website, and it also pushes you up in authority, because if you're good enough to write for other people's websites, then you must know your topic. This last one's a little bit of a catch-all, because these used to be where, apart from articles, people always said that's how you get traffic. Nowadays, a lot less so. So that's why I put them last. Consider them. Forums can be. If you can find a busy forum, a discussion board, it used to be called, in your industry, and if you can contribute genuine information, then people will actually seek you out and will spend money with you. But the forum needs to be active, needs to have a lot of people actually contributing, so the most recent post needs to be within minutes of you going on the site. Ideally seconds, but definitely minutes, not hours or days. Otherwise it's just not worth your time. And you can, as long as you're helpful to other people, most forums will actually allow you what's known as a signature link, and again that's a link back to your website where people can contact you more. You also get a profile link where they can get more information, a bit like LinkedIn but not as complicated. So forums are possible. Press releases used to be really effective. Nowadays they vary considerably, but again they can work quite nicely, and they need to be written in a special format, otherwise they're not a press release, and therefore they just don't work very well, because the press release sites say no, that's not a press release, therefore we're not going to include it. And most press release sites are a little bit fussy about the formatting, but it's fairly standard, and there are lots of people out there that will write press releases. Don't go to Fiverr. I've tried one or two there and the quality is just no good. Apologies to anyone that is any good there, but there's certainly ones I've found aren't. Go to a proper site, and again, if you follow the link at the end of this, there should be a link somewhere to a press release writing service. There are a couple out there that I trust. And directories were the other thing that used to be the really big thing to get involved in, and everyone tells you getting the Open Directory, getting the Yahoo Directory. Yahoo Directory is chargeable at a scary amount of money. I wouldn't recommend at all. Open Directory, yeah, sure, find the very best category, drill down as low as you possibly can. It's counterintuitive, but they'll move you there anyway, and the quicker you can get to the right place, the more likely you are to get accepted. Put your title should be just the site name, and then below it should be as though a journalist was writing a completely unbiased description of your site, so it's not hyped at all. That gives you maximum chance, because that makes the editor's job so much easier, because that's what they're targeted to do. But don't panic about that. There's lots of other directory sites out there as well. They vary in quality. If you can get them done cheap, they're worth a little bit of time, but not very much. That you might do on Fiverr, but be careful. Read between the lines on Fiverr. A lot of the gigs on there that suggest they're targeting directories actually are nothing of the sort, and they're not worth the $5 even. So again, that's a bit buyer beware. But do all those, especially the first one and the second one, probably the third. So especially writing content for your website regularly, creating YouTube videos regularly, and updating your Facebook page once you've created it, and doing that regularly. The others, nice to haves, but if you do the first three right, you'll be so far ahead of most of your competition. It's crazy. And if you'd like to know more, follow the link below this video and you'll find out more. Thanks for watching.